Hello, everyone. I'm here this afternoon to show you how to program your TI-84 to give you chi-squared confidence coefficient. So without too much preamble here, I'm going to show you one thing first, and that is the website. This is our class website, confidence interval for variance and standard deviation. As you can see, we have the regular PowerPoint. You'll find these programming instructions in the slides also. You also have a standalone handout, which I'm going to show you in a minute, with the programming instructions on it. For those of you who are not in the hybrid class, but are online, you have the option of using the online chi-squared, inverse chi-squared, distribution there. And you have instructions for finding the confidence coefficients, which we're going to be needing to do in the actual problems, which you have a video for. But let me show you now the instructions. Now, some of you may have some programming experience already. For those of you who don't worry. It's not a very long program, and it's just about pushing the right buttons. This first part, it says the inverse chi-square function isn't preloaded on the TI-83 and 84 calculators. Inverse chi-square returns a critical value we use in hypothesis tests and confidence intervals for population variance. Input is found on the program menu IO, input output option 1. All letters, spaces, quotation marks, and colons are found using the alpha key and finding what you need in green. And I'll show you those. Chi-squared CDF is on the distribution menu, which we're used to. DISP for display is on input output option 3, and solve is found on the math menu. If you make a mistake, or if you see me make a mistake at any point, then I'm just going to go back into program edit and keep going. Okay. Now the actual program is here. It's 3 lines long. So we're going to have input area right, A input DF for degree of freedom, D, and then we're going to display solve this 1 minus chi-squared CDF 0xd minus ax0. Okay, that's the program. So now that's what we're going to put in, is these 3 lines in the middle of the page. So now what I'm going to do, I have this next to me off screen. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you my calculator. Here's the calculator. I have the inverse chi program in my calculator already, but I'm going to enter a new version just so you can follow. So here we go. We're going to hit program, and we're going to go to new. Okay. Then, so right arrow twice, go to new, hit enter or hit number 1, either way, and name it. Now, I'm going to name my program. Notice we have the alpha key, so we're just going to use our green letter keys, which are alphabetical, on the keyboard. So we have the above the x squared for the I, and then we have, and below that, and then we have the V, which is above the number 6. Then we have the chi, which is C. The H is above the caret. And the I is above the square, inverse chi. Now we're going to hit enter to tell it we need a new line. And we're going to go to the next part, which is input. So we go back to program. We want input output. So we're going to hit IO. Make sure you're on the IO menu. And you're going to use number 1 input, right? Now we need quotation marks. Quotation marks are above the plus sign. Notice we don't have alpha, so we're going to make sure we hit alpha. Make sure you see the A. Then hit the plus sign and you get quotation marks. Now we're going to make sure again we have alpha. We're going to hit alpha here. Make sure you see the A. And we're going to type area there. So we're going to go A, then R. So R is going to be above the multiplication sign. Then E, oops, now notice here, I made an error, so I'm just going to delete that. And I'm going to delete that and go back. I need my alpha key, my R. So this is my R is there. Now I want to put this on my alpha and then my E. So this is going to be E and then alpha A area. Now I want the space. Now the space is above the catalog, that bracket that looks like it's upside down. So I want alpha and then the 0 key and I get a space. And then I'm going to type alpha and then the letter R, which is again above the times sign, alpha x squared, alpha tan, and then alpha H, which is caret symbol, and then alpha T, which is above the number 4. Input area right. And then I'm going to use a quotation mark. So alpha, remember the quotation marks are above in green. So I'm going to, before I do that, I'm going to use the colon though. So I'm going to say, I'm going to get rid of my alpha here, use my colon. So alpha, the colon here. I have the colon and then the quotation mark. So it's going to be alpha and the quotation mark, which is above the plus sign, alpha quotation mark. And then I have a comma and then the letter A, alpha A. Okay, so notice area right, colon, which is the 2 dots above the decimal point in green. So comma, then the letter A. Okay, that's my second line of my program. Now I'm going to do another input. So I'm going to hit enter. We're going to go back to program, IO, input. Now this time we're going to have quotation marks again. So it's alpha, quotation marks. Then we're going to put DF for degree of freedom. So alpha, D, alpha, F. Okay. Now, from there, we're going to use the colon. So it's alpha above the decimal point. Then we have the quotation marks. So it's going to be alpha, quotation marks, above the plus sign, and then a comma, and then D, alpha D, right here. Whoops. Now notice I made an error. So what I'm going to do is go program, and I'm going to go here. I'm going to quit from this screen. I'm going to go back to program, go back to inverse chi where I was, and then I have this. So this is hmm. Okay, hold on. Okay, so once I go to program here, let me quit from here and show you that. So here I had, what I did was I went back to program, my inverse chi right here, but I want my program screen, and instead of execute, I want the edit screen. So I want the middle one here, and I'm gonna come back and finish editing it. So alpha, and now I want the D. So alpha D, there it is. Now, from there, all I have to do right now is I have to put in the last line. I'm ready for the last line of my program. So I'm gonna hit enter one more time. Now I'm gonna go to display. So this is gonna be my program. I want display. So this is gonna be on my, so you can see that it's not on any of those. It's on the IO menu, and we're looking for display. So display IO right here, display, and then we're gonna go to solve. You find solve on the math menu. So we're gonna go to math. Now it's all the way generally at the bottom. So I'm gonna do a little trick here. I'm gonna go use my up arrow key. So it goes to the bottom, and I'm gonna go to solve and hit enter there. Now I'm gonna put in what I wanted to solve for, which is 1 minus, use the big minus, 1 minus. Now I'm gonna go to the distribution menu, second distribution, and you wanna make sure that you use number 8 for me, chi-squared CDF, okay? I'm gonna put chi-squared CDF in there. And in this case, we're gonna paste 0, which is already there. The upper is gonna be X. Now, don't use this X that has X, T, theta, and N. Use the letter X that's in your green letters. So we're gonna go alpha X here, okay? 0x, and then we're gonna put D for our DF, okay? So we're gonna go alpha D right here. And then we're going to paste it, and it's gonna look like this. Then we're not done. Then we're gonna go minus, and we're gonna say A, so alpha A, comma, remember comma, it's above the number 7. Oops, now I have 2 minuses. So let me delete one here. Okay, so x is going to be alpha x. So that's going to be on top of the store key, another comma, and then 0. That's 0, the letter. Now you're going to close your parenthesis on the right. So there's your inputs, okay? Now you're going to go second mode. Second mode to exit the program, second mode. And now you have your inverse chi. Now we're going to test the program here. So I'm going to pause the recording. I've come back to the Canvas site for a moment. I'm going to go ahead and download the confidence intervals for 7-4. And I'm going to stop sharing for a moment here. And I'm going to go and get from my downloads so we can test the program and make sure that your program works appropriately. So what we're going to do, this will show you, I have some values here. I'm going to go to my okay. I'm going to, let's see. Here's my slides. I'm going to share my screen at this time. So this is going to be my screen share. And here's my, now we have some properties. I'm not really interested in that right now. Here's your program. We're going to go ahead and check this with some stuff. So she gives us some to work on. So we're going to say, we want to find the values for chi-square right and chi-square left for 90% confidence interval when n is 37, okay? So now when I do this, my chi-square left is going to have the area to the right is going to be greater, okay? And when my chi-square right, my area will be smaller. So when you do it, chi-square right is going to be inverse chi alpha over 2 and df, okay? Chi-square left is 1 minus alpha over 2 and df. So take a moment, look at the values on the screen. We're going to compare them to what comes out of the calculator right now. So we have, I'm going to go ahead and share my calculator screen here. There it is. Here's my program, inverse chi. Going to hit enter, okay? Area to my right is going to be 0.10 divided by 2, just like you're used to. Enter it. My DF is 36. Remember, N was 37. And my area to the right is 50.9984. So now, if I go back to my 0.10 over 2, comma 36, 50.9985, which to 4 decimal places matches what's on the calculator, 846, okay? To do it again, you're going to go Program, Inverse Chi. You won't have 2 programs like I do. Hit Enter after that. And then you're going to go to get the left chi-squared, you're going to go 1 minus 0.10 divided by 2. That's going to give you that. Then you have 36 as your DF. And it comes out to 23.2686. So again, here's your check, 23.2686. So I hope that after this brief video and this example, that your chi-square program is working. If it's not working for you, then by all means, come and see me. What I'm going to do for the end of this video is I'm going to quit my screen here, clear my screen and quit. I'm going to program and I'm going to go to the inverse chi program so that you can see it. So I'm going to quit from there, clear here, go to my program, go to edit, and you can see there's what the program looks like on my screen, okay? Keep in mind that you need a colon before the quotation marks, then a comma, then the letter. So quotation marks, a colon before the quotation mark, a comma, then the letter. And then here, display solve 1 minus this chi-squared CDF. This X, don't use the X next to alpha. Use the X in green that's above the store key, STO, okay? And for this 0 here, use 0, not the letter O, okay? So I'm going to leave this on the screen for a few seconds so you can take a screenshot. But that's how your program should look. To use it, you just quit from there, then go to Program, go to Inverse Chi, and then hit Enter from there. And you can use whatever you need to use. I hope that this video has been helpful to you, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you, everyone. Bye for now.